Hello everyone, how are you guys? So I hope your preparations is going on in really full swing just like the Navratri here in Ahmedabad. However, if it is not going on pretty good, then do let me know. I'll be more than happy to give you one final push to get your preparations going on, right? Remember, I want each and every one of my student to score exemption in my subjects. Yes, yeah. Okay. Now, for those of you who are giving exams in this November 22, especially for those of you who are giving CA final exams in this November 22, I'm sure you might be aware that last month ICAI came up with RTPs for November 22, and as usual, yes, as usual, almost most of questions in this RTP are exactly similar to the ones we have covered in our book, right? Total 12 questions in the RTP. Yes, total how many? 12 questions in the RTP, and let me tell you, out of 12 questions in the RTP, out of total 12 questions in this RTP, 8 questions are exact replica, exact copy paste from the questions which I have given in my book. Yeah, a couple of days back I also shared the reference page numbers for all these 8 questions, right? Today I'm conducting this session to cover the remaining 4 questions of the RTP. Yes, so out of 12 questions, only 4 questions are new questions. Well, new as such does not mean that they are different from what we have done in the class. No, there is absolutely no new concept involved. Yeah, no new concept, no change in the syllabus based on the RTP. A couple of years back, they had added some new topics in the RTP. But this time there are no new topics covered in the RTP. 4 new questions are about the same concepts which we have done in class, right? But still, just to build your confidence, I will discuss these 4 questions in my session today, right? So this session is for covering only these 4 questions out of all the questions in the RTP, right? Of course, the remaining 8 questions which are already covered in my book in my regular discussion, I will give you the page number reference of my regular book for those remaining 8 questions. Okay? Yeah. So let us begin. Well, the first question, which 4 questions? Let me also tell you that these are the 4 questions which are new questions in this RTP. See, I've already mentioned that over here, and I can share these notes with you along with my annotations and everything. You will find these notes later in the video description below this video, right? So question 2, 5, 6 and 12, only 4 questions new in this RTP. Let us begin. Question 1 is not new. Question 1 is from chapter number 5. It's about ethical considerations, ethical and non-financial considerations in decision making. So page 5.7, case number 2, you will find the exact same case in my book. In fact, this case we had even discussed in my classwork, right? So do check out that case, page 5.7, case number 2. Acha, the page number references that I'm giving you here, all these page number references are out of my December 21 book. So if at all some of you have like old version of the book, then you can make the changes. These references are from the December 21 book, right? Okay. So question 1, I'm not covering. Question 2, let us discuss that. Question 2 is about supply chain management, mostly pertaining to chapter number 2, right? But this question is a general kind of case study where they're asking your general suggestions. Now remember what I have told you in class. For any such general case studies, when they're asking you general suggestions, well then in such case studies, there is no specific correct answer. Yeah, there is as such no such thing as one specific correct answer. No, it is not about giving a correct answer here. Rather, such questions are more about giving a more convincing argument. Whatever answer you give, it will be a correct answer. Yeah, whatever answer you give, it will be a correct answer, but you need to make a very convincing argument in your answer. right? So let's see what is this question about. I will not be reading the entire question word by word because I presume you must have already studied the RTP on your own once. If not, then please do study the RTP once and then you watch these videos, right? Okay, so question 2, as I said, I'm not covering the entire word by word reading of the question, but I'll just show you certain key important areas of the question. The company is Nation Smart, that is my company, and my company is a supplier of grocery items to local kirana shops and departmental stores under a franchisee model, right? So my company is Nation Smart. I supply grocery items to kirana stores, okay? And that items which I supply to the kirana stores, it is under a franchisee model. But these kirana shops are not exclusive franchisees of my product. Meaning, not exclusive means that they don't sell only my product, they sell other products also, especially the products which are not offered by me, they will get them from other suppliers, right? uh, my company offers items under my own brand, and I purchase these grocery items directly from the manufacturer or from the established supplier at a significant discount. So notice, my company is a supplier of grocery items. I am not a manufacturer of grocery items, right? So I purchase grocery items from the manufacturer and I supply them to the kirana shops. So I am like an intermediary. I'm simply an intermediary company who will buy from the manufacturer and sell it to those local kirana shops, right? Okay. But I'm doing that under my own brand. I purchase grocery items from the manufacturer at a significant discount, and because I am getting it at significant discount, I can pass on such discount to the franchisee kirana shops, right? Because of this, the kirana shops save around 8 to 12% of the purchase cost. Meaning, if these kirana shops would have purchased these grocery items from somebody else, then they would have paid 8 to 10% more. But because they are buying it from me, so they are able to save 8 to 12% on their purchases. For inbound logistics, acha, now for my company, inbound logistics means what? For my company is Nation Smart. For me, inbound logistics means getting the grocery items from the manufacturer or from the established supplier. So for me, inbound logistics is getting the grocery items from the manufacturer. And for that inbound logistics, my company relies on manufacturer or the established suppliers, and in some cases use the service of haulage contractors. So how do I get my inputs delivered? See, I'm not a manufacturer. So it is not like I purchase material and sell finished goods. No, I'm a trading company. So what I purchase is my input. What I sell, consider that is my output, right? So input and output. The input logistics is either handled by the manufacturer from whom I purchase the input, or I can use the service of some haulage contractors. Haulage contractor is like a third party transport operator, right? Okay, the haulage contractors who are working on behalf of these manufacturer. So see, either the manufacturer himself will transport goods to me, or the manufacturer will hire some third party transport contractor and he will deliver the goods to me. Meaning, currently, am I myself arranging the logistics? No, I am not arranging any logistics right now. My manufacturer is arranging logistics, either his own logistics or he will take service of some third party contractor, right? My company purchases items into their large and multi-purpose regional warehouse. Warehouse has the facilities for repacking of items into smaller units. So I am purchasing units from the manufacturer and I am first sending it to the warehouse. At the warehouse, I will open the large packaging and do repackaging into smaller packets because I'm gonna sell to the kirana shops. Kirana shops don't want large packaging, they want small packaging which they can give to the customer. Right? So repackaging work is done at my warehouse, and my sales representatives conduct meeting with each franchisee. So I conduct meeting with those local kirana shops after every 8 weeks. Well, every 2 months I have a meeting with the kirana shops to decide the weekly standing order quantity. Now understand, standing order quantity means what? Standing order quantity means a fixed order quantity, and standing order quantity meaning every week I will deliver that much quantity to the kirana shop. So every week, every 8 weeks, we will sit together and decide the standing weekly order for the next 8 weeks. Now, the standing orders delivered is delivered through a specialist haulage contractor. Okay, so here again, now this will be outward logistics. Yeah, so in case of outward logistics, again, I'm doing the transport through some specialist haulage contractor local to the regional warehouse. Matlab, the contractor of that local area, him I will be using. But there is one problem here, that the local kirana shops, once you agree for a standing order quantity for the next 8 weeks, thereafter the local kirana shops can increase that weekly order, but they cannot reduce the standing order. So if the local shop decided to get 100 units every week, then they will have to take minimum 100 units every week from me. They can increase their order, but they cannot decrease the order. That is my condition here. This shows that the local kirana shops don't have flexibility in making their orders, right? They cannot decrease the order in case of any emergency or in case of any problem. So they have to estimate weekly orders for next 8 weeks and make minimum that much quantity order. This shows that they don't have enough flexibility, right? Okay. Required. The board of directors recognize the need to review the supply chain to enhance the brand recognition. What is the purpose? The purpose of this company is that they want to enhance brand recognition. That is new. Just a moment. What they want is the better brand recognition, and they also want to address the issue raised by the franchisee regarding inflexible ordering. So these are the two major issues that they are facing. Problem A is that they want more brand recognition, and problem number B is that they want more flexibility in the ordering. Presently, my kirana shops don't have a flexibility in ordering. Why? Because presently these kirana shops, they have to fix the order. They have to fix the weekly standing order for next 8 weeks. After that, they cannot decrease it. They can increase it, but they cannot decrease it. Right now, this shows that they don't have enough flexibility, and well, the issue is raised by those franchisee people that they want more flexibility in the ordering and delivery system. Advise the board how the company can restructure its supply chain, presuming it keep on supplying the repacked items. Well, you notice that they have not given any specific problem in the case. They have not even asked you to give any specific solution to the problem, but they are just asking you in general that how will you restructure the supply chain. So what all changes would you recommend in this supply chain? Well, as I told you, for such questions, the answer of every student might be different. It is not about giving a correct answer, it is about giving a more convincing answer. So first, let me discuss orally from my side that what I believe should come in this answer. Then we will check out the answer given in the book, right? So what I believe should come in the answer. Let's see. I see some problems in this company, some problems that that you are getting the goods at significant discount, and that discount is passed on to the franchisee owners, to the kirana shops. So yes, you are giving the kirana shops quite sufficient discount. Well, maybe this discount is so good, so you might because you are giving them at such a huge discount, maybe that is why you are not offering them any flexibility. You have made them compulsory to fix the order quantity for next 8 weeks and stick to that order quantity. Now, the problem that they are facing is with that order quantity. How do I make that order quantity more flexible? How do I include more flexibility over there? Well, to include more flexibility, I should allow them to decrease the order quantity. Yeah, I should allow the kirana shops to decrease order quantity in case of any trouble. However, if they decrease the order quantity, thereafter I may not be able to pass on that discount to them. So chalo, my first suggestion, I will encourage them to stick to this order quantity, and I'll tell them that you will get this discount only if you order this much quantity. If you order lesser quantity, if you want flexibility, then you need to let go some discount. Yeah, so they wanted flexibility. I suggest you give them flexibility. You give them flexibility to decrease order quantity in case of any emergency. But in that case, you will lose the discount. I mean, the franchisee, the kirana shops, you tell them that they will lose the discount. Okay? Another suggestion which I can give is that inbound logistics is completely relying on the manufacturer. So either the manufacturer himself will transport my material to me, or some third party haulage contractors will do the transport. Well, my suggestion is that if the company has enough funds, then why not company plan to arrange its own transport services? Yeah, its own matlab in-house transportation services they can arrange. Now if the company is arranging its own in-house transportation service, then why to use it for only inbound logistics? You can use your own transport services, you can use your in-house transport services even for outward services, even for delivering goods to the local kirana shops. That is like outbound logistics. So for inbound and outbound logistics, for both of them, you might arrange your own transport services. That could be one suggestion. Yeah. Or if you don't have enough funds to do your transportation, then you can take service of third party contractors. However, that third party contractors should not be employed by the manufacturer. Rather, that third party contractors should be employed by you. Now, you wanted to increase your branding also, brand recognition. Well, for brand recognition, you might use your own logos and marketing material even on the trucks and transport media. Right, so on all the trucks and transportation media, you can put your own brand recognition, brand logo and all, just to improve the recognition of your brand. Right, that was pertaining to logistics, inbound as well as outbound logistics. See here, even the outbound logistics is done through some special contractor. I just suggest that might as well, rather than relying on the contractor of your client, you rely on contractor which you have hired on your own. Right. Okay, so these are some suggestions that I can think of. Let us look at the solution in your RTP question number 2 solution. Let's see. So they have first explained what is a supply chain. You can also explain what is upstream and a downstream supply chain, because you notice in this question they have actually made a discussion about both the sides. Upstream supply chain means me getting material from the manufacturer. Downstream supply chain means me delivering the goods to the local kirana shops. Right, so from the manufacturer, starting from the manufacturer to my company. What's the name of my company? Nation Smart. And from Nation Smart, just a minute. So from the manufacturer to our company, and from our company to the kirana stores. Well, you might notice that the transport from manufacturer to my company will fall under upstream supply chain, and from my company to the local kirana shops, that will fall under downstream supply chain. And well, I'm giving recommendation under both the categories. Upstream supply chain, well, for the upstream supply chain, for getting material from my supplier, one most common suggestion which you always give is using technology. Yeah, so you can use technology in terms of e-procurement or automated purchasing system, wherein my software will be integrated with the supplier software. So the moment my software notices requirement of groceries, then my software will automatically place order to the manufacturer for supplying those grocery items, right? That is called as e-procurement. That will allow the suppliers access to forecast demand. This will allow me to forecast my demand and accordingly tell the supplier to supply the material. So this will provide supplier an access to my forecast demand, right? That is called as e-procurement. We've done that earlier. Second suggestion, as I told you, in-house logistics. You think about having your own in-house logistics to do the transportation. You can also apply your own logo on your fleet of trucks to enhance the brand visibility. Same suggestion. Or you can go by third-party logistics, but you yourself appoint the third-party logistics rather than the manufacturer appointing third-party logistics. That's the difference here. So you appoint your own third-party logistics rather than the manufacturer appointing third-party logistics. Of course, you must do cost benefit analysis for that matter. In fact, if you are doing transportation on your own, then because of that, the supplier might give even more discount. See, until now, the manufacturer was handling the transport. So to that extent, he might have included transportation costs in the price quoted by him. He might have included CIF in the price quoted by him, cost, insurance and freight. But now if you are arranging transport on your own, so the manufacturer needs to give you only the goods. He doesn't need to bear the transportation costs. He doesn't need to bear the insurance and freight expense. So now he will give you a more better reduced price, which is an FOB price rather than the CIF price. FOB means free on board. So his cost is only up to putting my goods on board the ship. After that, the shipping cost, transportation, insurance cost is all on me, right? So to that extent, I can get reduced price, and so you need to do some kind of cost benefit analysis for that matter, right? Fourth suggestion I give is that you can use integrated logistics provider. So rather than having a separate transport operator for inbound and separate operator for outbound logistics, might as well you have an integrated logistics supplier, such that the same logistics guy will do inbound transport, same guy will do outbound transport also. In fact, same guy will also provide you warehouse. Yeah, it's possible. There are logistics partners who also offer storage and warehousing solutions. So in such case, you don't need any space, you don't need such major investment. Yeah, so you can try to search out any such integrated logistics partner who is ready to offer storage and warehousing solution as well. Of course, for that matter, again, cost benefit analysis you need to do. Now, if that can be done, if you are relieved from warehousing and repackaging efforts, if your warehousing and repackaging work is outsourced, so you can focus more on the brand recognition and brand awareness which you wanted to do, right? Or next set of suggestions is with respect to downstream. Downstream means I'm delivering goods to the kirana shops. Right now, this downstream transport is also happening through some transport operators. So you can club your previous point over here. Yeah, you can club your previous point which said that third party in-house logistics or third-party logistics you can use. Well, you can put that same point over here also, that you can use the third-party or in-house logistics for downward transmission, also for downward transportation also. Plus you need to follow pull model, which will provide more flexibility to the kirana shops while ordering. You remember that's what problem we were having. We were having the problem that the kirana shops did not have enough flexibility. Well, if you follow pull model, then they will have enough flexibility, because under the pull model they will demand the quantity which they need and only that much you will supply, right? It is not like fixed standing order you supply every week. No, they will demand and you will supply according to what they demand only. Now that will be called as a pull model, and yes, that will provide them more flexibility, right? Of course, this may result in low demand, because if they are allowed to decrease the order quantity, then the order quantity might decrease, and then I might not be able to give the same discount which I used to give, right? Okay, don't give discount, instead you allow them flexibility to decrease the order quantity. Yep. Okay, second suggestion under downstream would be that you can again use technology. Dekho, just like in the upstream supply chain, I suggested to use e-procurement. meaning using technology. Same way for downstream also you recommend using technology such that my software gets integrated with the Kirana shop ka software, so that whenever Kirana shop is low on quantity, then my software will automatically process an order and deliver goods to the Kirana shop, right? Plus, I can also use software to consolidate orders from various local shops so that I have lesser transportation costs. You can consolidate the cost of more than one Kirana shops and transport them together. You can save transportation costs with that. Use of e-point of sale. Well, electronic point of sale at the Kirana shop. This is basically what I told you. My software gets integrated with the software of that Kirana shop so that whenever they conduct a sale, whenever their stock level decreases, then I will get a notification. Because of this, the stock level, customer buying habits, sales information, all that from the Kirana shop will be shared with me. Obviously, that will help me in planning my production and planning my purchases, right? You can also suggest that company can enter the e-commerce platform so that instead of selling my goods through the local Kirana shops, you can yourself start selling them through e-commerce. And the sales representatives who are visiting the Kirana shops every 8 weeks, you can ask them to focus more on marketing and branding, because by visiting that Kirana shops once in every 8 weeks, they are not actually doing anything productive. They might be wasting time. In fact, now when you have already allowed them to have flexibility in order quantity, then probably now you don't need that meeting every 8 weeks. Rather, you ask these sales representatives to focus more on marketing and branding, right? Outbound logistics, well, your inbound and outbound logistics can be negotiated with the logistics contractor. If I have the same contractor, if I have the same transport operator for inbound as well as outbound, it means that I am giving him more scale of work. If I am giving him more scale of work, then probably he can negotiate for a better discount, right? So you can negotiate for discount in the transportation part. You can go for a single logistics company for all your logistics requirement, and that should give you economies of scale. You can also go by your own logistics services. You buy your own trucks and do the transportation using your own fleet of trucks. Yes, that is possible. In that case, you will get more brand visibility, because on the road every day your trucks are moving on the road with your branding over there. Yes, it will give you more brand visibility, right? And you can also have a better scheduling of routes so that you can save your transportation cost. Ultimately, all that depends on obviously cost benefit analysis. Done? Yes, this was an overview of question number 2. Okay, then next question of the RTP, moving further, question number 3. Question 3 is again out of our book only. It is, you'll find that question on page 3.58, case number 3, exact copy paste of the case in my book, right? So we are not discussing that. Question 4 is also exactly from my book, page 11.59, question number 38. It's a question out of your standard costing chapter. Question number 5 of the RTP is new. Let us discuss that. Question 5 of the RTP is about ethical dilemma. So now this is again pertaining to chapter number 5, right? However, there are certain calculations involved over here. Let's see what is this case involving. Capson Industries is an electronics company producing office equipment known for printers which are cost effective and durable. Okay, so the company is manufacturing certain types of office equipments, especially for printers. In order to maintain and improve competitiveness, the company focuses on strategic cost reduction through continuous improvement. Well, not that it is relevant, but just reminding you, if the company is planning to do cost reduction through continuous improvement, can you imagine what does that refer to? Yes, continuous improvement is basically referring to, just so that if you remember, continuous improvement refers to what? It refers to Kaizen. But anyways, the question is not exactly about Kaizen. So let's see what the question is about. You are the management accountant and you are hired as a consultant and currently evaluating whether to outsource production of a drum used in making the printers. So your manufacturing of printer requires a component called as drums, right? And presently they are themselves manufacturing the drum. They are asking you that whether you should outsource the production of the drum. So basically you can say that the question is like make or buy decision. Yeah, presently you are making the drum and you are evaluating the possibility that should I outsource that production of the drum. Okay, the outsourced vendor quoted a price of 225 per unit. So can I say this becomes your relevant cost of buying the drum, right? The product engineer explained to you that the toner cartridge is the container that holds the toner powder. The drum unit is an electrically charged cylinder. This is the drum. This is the electrically charged cylinder that fuses that toner powder onto the paper and create the textile images. So in short, they have explained you some kind of the designing part and engineering part, but frankly that's not useful. Based upon the estimates of marketing department regarding the number of printers to be sold in the upcoming year. Okay, number of printers to be sold in the upcoming year. So they have given you estimated sale of next year, and based on that estimated sale of next year, you estimate that consumption of 40,000 units of D32 drum will be needed. Yeah, so 40,000 units are the units of the component in this question. So either you make 40,000 units of D32 or you outsource that 40,000 units of D32. That is the question. The cost clerk in the accounts department provided you the following information. The information given is on annual basis. It is actual up till 24th of March and budgeted for the remaining last 1 week. You can consider this is like actual of last year because only 1 week is budgeted, baki entire 51 weeks is actual pertaining to D32 for the year which is just about to end. So you are given the actual data of the year which has just ended. The product is laser drum, product ID, HS code, build is in-house manufacturing, and production during the year 36,000 units. So during this year your production has been 36,000 units and your material cost is given, labor cost is given, overhead cost is given. All these are given in terms of rupees lakhs. Lease rental of the space which is used for plant equipment is 15.6 and admin overheads is given 6.23. Admin overheads is other than the leases. So these are the total costs allocated to the manufacturing of drum. This is the total cost allocated. You have to identify that out of this total cost allocated, how much will be relevant cost of make. You also gather information relevant to D32 which signify during the current year, upcoming year. So for the upcoming year, you are given some further information. Please do notice that this information given is for the upcoming year. For the next year, you are given some changes that material and labor is expected to increase by 6%, 5% respectively. So please do make a note of that this material is going to increase by 6% in the next year. So your relevant cost of make will increase by 6% next year, right? And my labor cost is expected to increase by 5%. So next year, if I make, then I will spend 5%, 6% more in case of labor and material. The leases can be terminated, but the cost of termination will be equivalent to half a month lease rental. Well, in which situation will I terminate the lease rental? Now, this basically indicates that my lease rental is an avoidable fixed cost. Because when you know that the lease rental can be terminated, meaning it is an avoidable fixed cost, and you know that avoidable fixed cost is relevant, right? So 15.6 lease rental is avoidable. Avoidable, so I will say therefore you can consider this as relevant cost. However, in order to avoid this lease rental, you will have to pay, say, cost of termination. Cost of termination will be half a month of rental. So in which case will you pay that cost of termination? If I continue to make, then I'll pay cost of termination, or if I continue to buy, then I will pay the cost of termination. Well, if you continue to make, then you don't terminate the lease, then you don't pay the cost of termination. In which case will you pay this cost of termination? Cost of termination you will pay if we stop make, that is if we buy. So you can add this in your relevant cost of buy, the termination, cost of termination. Lease rentals are static over the years for the next 3 years. Space and plant. The space and plant have sufficient idle capacity to absorb increase in production. Which increase in production? We'll notice last year my production was 36,000, but next year it is estimated 40,000. But you have enough capacity to increase that production, so don't worry about that increase in production. 60% and 30% of production overheads, admin overheads are variable in nature. So out of this production overheads, 60% is variable. Into 60% is variable cost, and out of this admin overheads into 30% is variable cost. Pretty simple. The rest is fixed and unavoidable. Unavoidable meaning not relevant. The total variable costs are directly and linearly proportionate to the volume of production. Obviously, that's why it is called as variable. However, the variable overhead cost expected to increase by 3% due to inflation effect. Well, so both these variable costs are expected to increase by 3% due to some kind of inflation effect. So we'll use that when we calculate the relevant cost of make. You are crunching the numbers, and to advise the management, the meantime came across the VP production, who indicates that D32 in-house will become cheaper in the upcoming year because the production cost will reduce significantly on account of some initiative proposed instead of an increase in it. Well, now this is a non-financial consideration. You believe, while you had the opinion that your material and labor and overheads will increase by 6%, 5%, 3%, 3% due to inflation. That is what you believe. However, the VP of production indicates that the cost will become cheaper instead of cheaper in the upcoming year because of production cost will reduce significantly on account of some initiative proposed instead of increase in it. Hence, advise you to analyze the decision ignoring the increase in cost of production, rather advise to consider them at a lower level than the current level. So your VP production is actually suggesting that you analyze the decision ignoring increase in the cost. Well, but see, they have already clarified that what the VP production is indicating is actually not correct. Read the next line. Dekho, it says that basically his pain is something else. Usko kuch aur dukh raha hai. His pain is something else. He detests to see the scope of his work at the company is getting dwindled and don't want the apple of his eye to be laid off. Now see, that's what indicates that this is a non-financial consideration. Try to understand this line. This line says that the production manager is fearing that if you outsource your production of D32, then if the production is outsourced, then don't you think the work of the production manager will decrease? Yeah, the VP production, he is responsible to do the production. Now, if you outsource the production to some outside entity, then the work of this VP production will decrease. So he is worried about his decrease in work. He is worried that if his work will decrease, then eventually his people might be laid off, right? So he is under the fear. His pain is something else. His pain is something else. Matlab, he is not exactly having a problem with the cost becoming cheaper or more expensive. Rather, he is worried about his work decreasing. Dwindled means decreased. So he is worried that the scope of his work at the company is getting decreased and he doesn't want his employees to get laid off. Well, that's the reason he is giving excuses. That's the reason he is giving excuses that no, the prices will not increase in the next year. In the next year, the cost will decrease because of some initiatives that we have proposed. Now, does that seem to be correct? No. You will comment that the production manager is suggesting that the prices or the cost will reduce because of his personal desires. He is recommending that the prices or cost will decrease because he doesn't want to lose his work, right? But from the company viewpoint, from the overall company viewpoint, it seems that inflation is definitely going to happen and inflation is definitely going to increase my cost. So considering the financial factors, you will take your decision based on the inflation. You should ignore what the production manager is indicating, because he is indicating these things for his personal gain. That's what you need to comment in your answer. Yeah, they're asking you both the things. They're asking you, number one, advise whether to outsource or produce in-house, and this will be as per your financial calculations. And the second question, they're also asking, it is nearly impossible to attain cost reduction as described by the VP. Yeah, so they have already clarified that it is impossible to have cost reduction, what the VP is describing. But you're also dejected after the thought of possible layoff, which largely depends on your advice. Well, if you advise them to outsource, then naturally many people in the production department will be laid off. How will you respond to this dilemma? Dilemma means you have a confusion, you have an ethical confusion that if I give financial advice to the company, then many employees will be laid off. But if I try to prevent that laid off, then financially the company will not perform very well. So what will you do? Well, in my opinion, as a chartered accountant, as a financial advisor to the company, see, you are a financial advisor to the company, you are not a spiritual advisor to the company, right? So you don't have to advise the company in spiritual things and doing good to the employees and all. Agreed, doing good to the employees is required, but not at the cost of finances of the company. Yeah, if I don't lay off the employees, if I continue production at high cost, then eventually in future the company will not get enough profit, and eventually in future the employees will be laid off. Might as well lay off them now so that the company can save some cost. Yeah, that will be my suggestion here. But before that, let us check whether in-house production or outsourcing, which is the better. So how do you check? Well, I compare a relevant cost of make and relevant cost of buy. Relevant cost of make will be all these items, and relevant cost of buy will be your buy price 225 per unit. And also, in case of buy option, you will have to pay the cost of lease termination. Let's see, that's exactly what they have given in the solution. This is question number 5. We'll directly check out that from the solution, and it's a very easy solution given. So cost of outsourcing is the cost of purchasing 40,000 units at 225, and the lease termination cost. Your lease rent was 15.6 annual. My annual lease rent was 15.6 lakhs. So monthly will be divided by 12 months, and half month will be into half month, right? Half month lease rent you have to pay as the cost of termination that you add in my cost of buy. And then cost of make will involve material cost, which was 33.975, but this was for 36,000 units. You will have to spend this for 40,000 units. So first of all, you increase that cost proportionately for 40,000 units into 40 divided by 36, and then 6% increase for the inflation. Same goes for labor. Yeah, labor, this is for 36, so for 40 it will be what? 40 by 36, and increase 5% for inflation. Production overheads will be 23.72 into 60% variable plus 3%, but then that will be for 36,000. You have to do it for 40,000. So 30% variable, 3% increase, 40 by 36. 60% variable, 3% increase into 40 by 36. That's for production overheads and admin overheads. And lease rental, I have put entire 15.6 as relevant cost. Yeah, because your lease rental is avoidable. So entire lease rental which is avoidable becomes your relevant cost. You will pay 15.6 lease rent only if you do the manufacturing. If you do the outsourcing work, then you don't pay any lease rental. Instead, you pay the cost of lease termination, which is only 65,000. Done. Another alternative way or another alternative approach here would be that you don't show 65,000 here, you don't show 1560 over here. Instead, what you show here is 1560 minus 65,000. Yeah, you could do that. Only the differential you can put as relevant and show that over here. Ultimately, your decision will still come the same, right? Yeah. So that is your, this is my total cost of outsourcing. Total cost of outsourcing is 90,65,000. Total cost of manufacturing is 9325. So yes, there is 2,60,000 benefit of outsourcing. If outsourcing gives me benefit of 2,60,000, so it is worthwhile to outsource. However, non-financial considerations you should also check. See, whenever you answer a question of make or buy decisions, I've told you in your class, I've told you in the regular class that whenever you recommend a buy option, then you always also write down non-financial factors which might affect the buy option. Which non-financial factors will affect? Quality of the buy, continuous and timely supply from the buy option. Yeah, because see, in make option your quality will be your quality, it will be good. In buy option your quality will not be controlled by you, it will be controlled by the supplier, right? So quality has to be good, timely supply should be there from the supplier, and the supplier should have the ability to supply entire requirement. So if the supplier does not supply full 40,000, he says that I can supply only 30,000, remaining 10,000 you make. Well, if remaining 10,000 you have to make, then for just remaining 10,000, to make that remaining 10,000, you will have to spend fixed cost of lease rental. Because there is a fixed cost involved, hence, I should consider that the supplier can supply entire requirement also, right? Also, also other non-financial considerations like in case you outsource, then there will be layoff. Are you ready for the layoff? The employee morale will decrease because due to the layoff, the remaining employees who will stay will also find it risky to stay in your company, right? Control over the value chain, because now you don't manufacture your material is manufactured by somebody else. So you don't have control over the entire value chain, right? All that you can mention over here. If that component was a non-value added component, then happily you could outsource. But if that component is a really value added component, and if the supplier of the component does not make it in good quality, then your value of the final product will decrease, right? All that can be put as your non-financial considerations. Apart from these factors, confidentiality, technical know-how, relations with the lessor, all that can also affect your decision. Second question about the dilemma. Well, it is an ethical dilemma, but you have to do what is good for the overall company. So my best advice will be that the biased advice of VP production shall be ignored. What the production VP was suggesting was biased. Biased matlab it was in his favor. It was for his personal gain. The recommendation to the management shall be purely based on the facts and fair estimates, purely based on financial considerations here, right? However, your recommendation to the management may include the plausible impact and effect of that decision. You can always mention in your recommendation that financially it is good to go for outsourcing. However, there will be some layoff, there will be some decrease in employee morale. Do mention that in your answer. Well, that's what you have already mentioned in your non-financial part of the answer. Done? Yes, that's your question number 5. Going further in the RTP, question number 6 is also a new question. It's about transfer pricing and it is about minimum TP, maximum TP. Very interesting question. Let's see. ZAP has 3 divisions, Z, A and P. So Z, A and P are the 3 divisions which make product ZAP respectively. For A, the only material is Z, and for P, the only material is A. So Z transfers material to A transfers material to P. That's how the transfers are happening. Direct selling overheads representing commission to external sales agent are avoided on all internal transfers. So this sales agent commission is not incurred in case of internal transfers. A additionally incurs 10 per unit and 8 per unit on units delivered to external customers and P respectively. Now this indicates that division A is doing transfer to P as well as A also does external sale. When it does a transfer to P, it incurs 10 per unit on the units delivered to external customers and 8 per unit on units delivered to P. So in this situation, your division A is incurring some transport costs for giving units to P as well as giving units for external sale. Keep that in mind, we'll come back to it later. Same, A also incurs 6 per unit picked up from Z. So when A will get material from Z, then on transferred material, it will incur 6 per unit for the transferred material. Whereas external suppliers supply to A's factory at the price of 85. Well, external suppliers will supply at your factory itself at the price of 85. You don't incur any transport costs for the external supplier. Okay? And then you are given some details. You are given material at the external supplier rate 40, 85 and 135. This means that if Z will get material from external, it will cost him 40. A will get material from external, it will cost him 85. And if P gets material from external, it will cost him 135. That is the material cost of external supplier. Then labor cost you are given, sales agent commission, selling price in external market you are given. So every division does external sale also. Z can do external sale at 110. I have shown that over here. A can do external sale at 170. I showed that here because A can do external sale like this. And P can do external sale at 240. I have shown that over here. Yeah. See, this is just a visual representation of what they have given over here. Okay. Production capacity of every division you are given and external demand of every division you are given. Okay. So now for division Z, you notice that what they have asked you is simple. They have asked you range of negotiation between Z, A and P for the number of units and transfer price of internal transfers. Okay. So they have asked you the range of negotiation, and basically they are asking you minimum TP, maximum TP, and they are asking you how many units transfer should be done. Let's see. So if Z transfers to A, first of all, you notice that how much spare capacity Z is having? 6,000 units. Spare capacity he is having. Now, Z can do external sale at the price of 110. A can obtain external material at the price of 85. So first of all, is it advisable that Z does the transfer by sacrificing his external sale? Definitely not, because Z is getting very good external selling price and A is getting material from external at a cheaper price. So definitely Z should not do transfer by decreasing his external sale. Transfer will be done only out of spare capacity. Same goes for transfer from A to P. See, there are two transfers involved here. Let's call this as transfer 1, T1 and T2. Now in case of transfer 1, we can easily conclude that transfer should be done only out of spare capacity. Same goes for transfer number 2. A can do external sale at 170. P can get external purchase at 135. Yeah, so definitely if he is getting external material at a cheaper price, then he should get external material from outside only. We will not take transfer from A. Chalo, even if you consider the sales agent commission over here, then also 170 minus 15 is still getting 155 from external sale, while P is getting from external at 135. So again, I can easily conclude here that transfer should not be done out of your external sale. Transfer can be done only out of spare capacity. Well, A is having spare capacity of 4,000. Z is having spare capacity of 6,000. So transfer 1, maximum units to be transferred 6,000. Transfer 2, maximum units to be transferred 4,000. Done? Yes. And what price should they transfer it at? Well, let's see. For T1, which is transfer from Z to A. Let's work out something here. Minimum TP that Z will want. Imagine what will be the minimum TP that Z will want. Well, Z will want minimum TP for transfer out of spare capacity. Well, for transfer out of spare capacity, minimum he wants will be his variable cost. What is his variable cost? 40 rupees material, 30 rupees labor. That's it. 15 is not incurred on internal transfer. So minimum TP that Z wants is 70. Maximum TP that A can pay Maximum TP that A would be ready to pay is based on his external purchase cost. Well, A can get material from external at 85, right? A can get material from external at 85, so maximum TP that A can pay is 85. But you know that A incurs 6 per unit when he gets transfer from Z. So on this internal transfer, A is incurring 6 per unit. Now this 6 is the cost incurred for transferred material. I am simply following the formulas which I have given you in class, right? So maximum TP that A will be ready to pay is 85 minus 6 is 79. So that's it. So my transfer range from Z to A should be 70 to 79. Okay, that is for transfer 1. But then for transfer 2, for A to P, well, for transfer from A to P, minimum TP that A will want will depend on the variable cost that A incurs. Now see, if A will purchase material from outside, then his cost is 85. Yeah, if A will purchase material from outside, then minimum TP he wants for his further transfer will be his material cost of 85 plus his labor cost of 50. Well, plus labor plus A also incurs some more expense when he does transfer to P. When A does transfer to P, he is incurring material 85, he is incurring labor 50. Does he incur a sales commission of 15 when he does transfer to P? No. But A additionally incurs 8 per unit on the units delivered to P respectively. So A is incurring 8 per unit on the units delivered to P. So he will charge that for the minimum TP also. That is variable cost that A incurs in case of transfer, 8 per unit on the units delivered to P. Just a moment. Yeah, better. So that makes the minimum TP that A will want as 85 plus 50 plus 8 is 143. Okay, and maximum TP, chalo before that, this is the minimum TP that A will want if A will begin from external material, right? But if A will begin from transferred material, then what is the minimum TP he will want? Well, if A will begin from transferred material, then the minimum price at which he gets material, minimum price at which A could get material from Z is 70. Let us begin from that 70 over here. If I begin from that 70, then minimum price at which A can get material from Z is 70 plus on the transferred material, A will incur 6 rupees on material picked up from Z. So on that transferred material of 70, A will incur 6 rupees on the transferred material plus 50 rupees labor it will incur plus 8 rupees it will incur for delivering finished goods to P. So total cost here becomes 70 plus 6 plus 50 plus 8, 134. So there are two minimum TPs that A will have. A will want a minimum TP of 143 if he will use purchased material, but A will want a minimum TP of 134 if he will use transferred material, right? Yes, this is my two answers of minimum TP. Now you will be wondering what to do with two answers of minimum TP. Don't worry, we will resolve that eventually. But let us go further and decide maximum TP here. maximum TP that P will want. Well, P will want maximum TP based on external purchase cost. If P will purchase from outside, it cost him 135. So maximum TP that P would be ready to pay is 135. So now think, if minimum TP that A wants is 143, maximum TP that P can pay is 135. Will the transfer be possible? No, he wants minimum TP 143, P can pay maximum 135. Minimum is not less than maximum, minimum is more than maximum. So this transfer will never happen. In other words, if A will get material from purchase, if A will use purchased material from outside, then transfer from A to P will never happen, right? Transfer from A to P, this transfer is possible only if A can get transferred material. In short, if transfer 1 happens, only then transfer 2 will be possible. If transfer 1 doesn't happen, if A has to buy material from outside at 85 rupees, then transfer 2 won't be possible, because then transfer 2 minimum TP required by A is very high. Right? So transfer 2 here in this case is possible only if transfer 1 can happen, and that also transfer 1 can happen at the price of 70 only, right? So that's why I cancel out this minimum TP. This becomes my minimum TP for transfer 2, maximum TP 135. In fact, now you also notice that in case of my transfer 1, the range is 70 to 79. If Z will charge 70, then A wants minimum 134. If Z is charging 79, then A will want 79 plus 6 plus 50 plus 8. It again goes up to 143. Will that be possible to transfer? No. And that's the reason I say that if maximum TP that P can pay is 135, then the minimum TP over here can be at the most 135. Because if this minimum goes beyond 135, then transfer 2 does not happen. In short, now probably you also realize that this range needs to be changed. If I want to do both the transfer, then my first transfer can be maximum in the range 70 to 71. Because if transfer 1 you are charging anything more than 71, if you charge anything more than 71 over here, then 71 plus 6 plus 50 plus 8 will become more than 135. Then transfer 2 won't be possible. In short, my both transfers are possible only if transfer 1 range is 70 to 71 and transfer 2 range is 134 to 135. In fact, I can express my range like this. If transfer 1 is done at 70, then the range of price for transfer 2 can be 134 to 135. But if transfer 1 is done at the price of 71, then for transfer 2 the only price possible is 135, because that will be the price at which there is no benefit, no loss. Right? If the transfer 1 is at a price anything more than 71, then transfer 2 will not happen. Yeah, if the transfer 1 is at any price between 71 to 79, then transfer 2 will not be possible. Transfer 2 will not be advisable. Then this is my range of negotiations, and this is exactly how you need to explain your answer. Yeah, that's how they have explained the answer. Let me show you. That was question number 6. So question 6, let's see, minimum TP 70, maximum TP 79 initially. So Z will be attracted to do the transfer only in the range 71 to 79. Well, in my opinion, that is wrong. You can make that as 70 to 79, because they have considered the answer that they have given is presuming that the decimal prices are not possible. No, any price above 70 will be good enough. 70.1, 70.2, everything is acceptable to Z, because Z has minimum TP of 70. Anything more than 70 will be acceptable to him. So you can change that to 70 to 79, where also 70 to 79 you can make that. But that 134, 135 wala discussion is given over here. So my conclusion is like this. If Z2A is at 70, if Z2A is at 70, then A2P is at 134, 4000 units, because only 4000 units A has the spare capacity, or A to P can be at 135, in which he doesn't get any in which he will get 1 rupee benefit. That is my range of transfers. And for buying from Z at 71 to 79, A will be interested to selling P only at the price 135 to 134, 143, which is not interesting to P. So that transfer will not happen. So A will sell to P. Now this is interesting. Dekho, A will sell to P only if Z sells to A at 70, and A will supply to P maximum 4000 units. This is my conclusion. Yes, I hope you get that. That was question number 6. And one last question in your RTP which is new. Let's cover that up. I'm so sorry. Question 7 is again out of my book. It's chapter 2, cost of quality. You will find that question exactly on page 2.42, question number 7 in my book. Question 8 is also from my book, page 5.73, question number 16. Question 9, life cycle costing, you'll find it in my book, page 4.43, question number 12. Question 10 is case study in chapter number 5, page 5.10, question number 5, you will get that. Question 11 is again from balance scorecard, that is performance evaluation wala question, page 7.42, question 11. This is a question we have already discussed in class, right? This is my classwork question. So frankly, as I told you, nothing much new in this RTP. Question 12 is a new question that's from pricing decision, but it's a very simple and easy question. You can solve the question orally. Let's see. It's a question about pricing decision and the company details are given here. The gifts company makes mementos for offering chief guests and other dignitaries at functions. A customer wants 4 identical pieces of handcrafted gifts for 4 dignitaries invited to this function. For this product, the gifts company estimates the following cost for the first unit of the product. You are given the cost of first unit. Variable cost excluding labor is 2000 and labor cost is given 1000. 90% learning curve is applicable and 1 laborer works for 1 customer's order. Well, if 90% learning curve is possible, learning curve will affect which cost? Learning curve will affect the labor cost. And you know that the material, the product here is handcrafted product. Handcrafted, so labor is a significant part of the product cost. Now they say that the cost of first unit is 1000. So let us apply learning curve over here. Orally we can do units and the direct labor cost. The first unit direct labor cost is 1000. So what is your concept of learning curve say? Learning curve says that when the number of units become double, then average direct labor per unit will become 90% of the previous. So 90% of the previous, this becomes 900 per unit average labor cost. Again, when units become double, 4 units, then it becomes 90% of 900, that is 810. 810 is the average labor cost per unit for 4 units. So what is total labor cost? 4 into 810. 810 into 4 is 3240 is my labor plus variable overheads plus the direct variable cost. other than labor is 2000 per unit into 4 units. So that is 2 into 4000. That is 8000. Total cost becomes 11,240 between 4 units. So divide by 4. Per unit becomes 2810. So 2810 turns out to be my variable cost per unit. Let's see further. Calculate the price per piece to be quoted for this customer if the target contribution is 1500 per unit. You want contribution of 1500 per unit. So the selling price that you should quote is 4310. And yes, that is the answer given in your book. Direct, simple question, just a plain application of learning curve. Yeah, yes. Second question, if 4 different laborers made the 4 products simultaneously to ensure faster delivery to the customer, can the price at one above be quoted? Definitely not. This price can be quoted if all the 4 products are made by one laborer. If all the 4 products are made by the same worker, then there will be learning. So if 4 units are made by 4 different workers, then will there be any learning involved? No, because one worker will make 1 unit only. Second worker will make again only 1 unit. Third worker will make again only 1 unit. So if every worker makes only one unit, then there is no effect of learning that will be involved. Every unit will cost you thousand labor. Yeah, so every unit will cost you 1000 rupees labor. Every unit will cost you 2000 variable overheads, plus every unit will involve 1500 contribution. So the selling price that you must quote in that case will be 434500. This price of 4310 cannot be sustained if 4 different workers make these products. You have to explain this by explaining that when 4 products are made by 4 different laborers, then the effect of learning will not apply, right? So the price above cannot be quoted. That's my answer. Question number 12. Yeah, I'm not showing you the solution there because it's a very easy solution. The same thing what I've explained here is given in the solution. Yes, so that's my discussion of the RTP for November 22 exam. I hope this discussion was helpful for you, and do get in touch with me if you have any other queries and questions. You can follow my Telegram channel and you can join my Telegram discussion group for any more doubts or queries. Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much and all the best for your exams. Bye-bye. Okay.